Trump's a evil villain.
Another hits jam from WebLoaded.com.
What's up, and welcome to another episode of the Rey and Nev Show. What's up, Nev?
Good. What's up with you, man?
Good, brother. Good. Hey, I wanted to kind of have fun with this. Because you have to try to make light of every situation, and I think that I wanted to have fun with it. I wanted to talk to our audience. Obviously, we talk real estate. We love real estate.
Yeah.
And we wanted today. I just felt like, as a shout out to my boy Jay, we wanted to appraise Mar-a-Lago.
Appraise it?
Let's appraise it, man.
Oh,
let's go ahead and look at all aspects of it.
Hey, I'm over here paying my bills and stuff, and you want to appraise stuff. Let's do it.
I want to appraise. Now, let me go ahead and give legal disclaimers. So we're not appraisers, so we cannot appraise it. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a market analysis, right? As realtors, we can do CMAs, which are market analysis on properties. And because we are realtors here in Florida, real estate brokers as well, we can do that. We legally can do that. So I'm going to do that. And we're going to go over some articles, and we're going to go over some of the things that were said in court in regards to the Mar-a-Lago property. And we're going to, probably, see if any of this is true. And if it's not, then, we'll let you, the real estate community and our fans out there in our audience, decide what is true. Okay. Yeah. Is that cool?
Cool.
All right, let's start it up. So let's talk about Mar-a-Lago. Let's go ahead and Nev, tell me a little bit. Give me some background, when it was built, what it is, and give me the breakdown of that.
Crazy thing about Mar-a-Lago, it was built by a woman named, I don't even know what her name is. It's Marjorie Merriweather Post.
Marjorie Merriweather Post. Why does that Post name sound so familiar?
Owner of the Post cereal company.
No way.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes. So she actually built this house
when did
with
she build
her
it?
husband in the 1920s.
1920s.
Right? Mar-a-Lago. If you translate that to English, what does that come out to be?
That's Mar to Lake.
So that's
beachfront
to the lake. Right? So it spans the entire width of Palm Beach. And it goes all the way to, let's see, what's the name of that lake that it ends at? Not really sure. Okay, it ends at Lake Worth Lagoon.
Lake Worth Lagoon.
So it's the whole width of Palm Beach. That's insane.
That's crazy.
Now, I bet you wouldn't even know how much you want to guess how much he paid to build that.
I don't know. But you did tell me, so you don't want me to guess.
All right, go ahead and tell him.
Okay. Was it $7 million?
$7 million.
$7 million to build.
1920.
Which is the equivalent of what?
That's like $118 million today.
So $118 million today.
Yep.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird because I'm reading this over here and it says, and this is a PolitiFact story. It says New York officials didn't value Mar-a-Lago at $18 million. A Palm Beach property appraiser did. So we're going to go and read through the story and look at this article and see what it's all about, right? It says New York officials did not determine the value of the former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida. The property appraiser in Palm Beach County, where the estate is located, assessed the property and determined its value. In evaluating the property, Palm Beach officials account for Mar-a-Lago being a deed-restricted private club. Unlike a private home, the property's value is determined by the amount of income it generates as a club.
Let's break that down.
Okay, great.
There's multiple ways to appraise a house, right? And to determine the value of it.
Correct.
What's one way that you use?
Well, there's the cost approach.
Okay, explain that.
The cost approach is basically you look at what the cost of building that home again, what it would cost to do it. And then based on that approach, that's one of the ways that you can appraise it.
Yep, absolutely. What's another way you can appraise a property?
Well, there's also the comparable approach where you actually look at properties that are like properties within the area, and you would appraise based on that.
Okay, and then in the commercial market, commercial space, how would you find the value for, let's say, what's a building downtown? The Seacoast building. How would we find the value on that?
So the way it would work, right? So depending on the business of the building, what are the businesses in there? What is it? What kind of tenants the building has, and based on if it's business related or what kind of tenancies it has, you have what's called a multiplier in the commercial space, right?
Yep.
So what happens is if the building has a particular income, if you're basing it on income of the property.
The annual net operating income.
Correct. So that annual net, and this is very important what you said. You said annual net operating income. Net, that means gross is already out the door,
Yep.
meaning they've already taken care of expenses. So net means this is profit. This is the pure profit coming in.
Yep.
So based on that, basically you would then have what's called a multiplier based on the industry,
Yep.
right? So if it's real estate industry, it may multiply between 3 and 4, maybe even as high as 5, depending in the area and depending in the state. In most cases, though, it will never go below a 3%. So at 3 times.
3 times.
So,
Okay.
yeah,
So basically, you have the resale. So you use the comparables in area,
okay,
the resale value of it, and then you have the reconstruction value. How much would it cost to replace it?
Cost
if it
approach,
burnt down,
correct.
right? And then you will also have the net operating income, the annual net operating
Correct.
income to calculate it. With Mar-a-Lago, what makes that one so different from a regular home?
Well, what makes it different from a regular home? First, it's a private club.
Okay.
So it's not a residence, right? So you're not comparing this to an actual home. So that would be step 1. Step 2 is that the home itself or the club itself, because of the way it operates, it only has one option to actually be appraised by, which is going to be the net operating income.
Yep.
Right? So because of that, the only way we could even try to begin to find the value of this property is through going through that step. So let's go through that step together.
All right, let's go through it together. So you would have to obviously use, how much money does this
Okay.
club bring in?
First of all, before you go there, we have to debunk one thing here.
Okay.
So PolitiFact is incorrect.
Okay.
PolitiFact is incorrect. PolitiFact said that based on this, I'm going to read it again. It says that the property was assessed by a property appraiser from Palm Beach County, which means it's part of these are the appraisers that go out every year,
Yeah.
and they appraise the property and they give us a value based on their property appraisal. Okay.
Okay.
And then they said that they came up with the value of 18 million.
So a property appraiser went out and said that this home is only worth 18 million.
This public resort is worth 18 million.
I have some other numbers we're going to add in, and
Hold on.
and any smart person is going to be able to say that 18 million is just
I
not
think
the right
my
number.
13-year-old son will figure this out. So, but let's go there. So what I did was I said, okay, so this was done in 2023. This is when it was in court. So I wanted to make sure I pulled 2023's tax numbers.
Okay.
Okay. So I have the tax numbers here, and I don't want the audience to see me call it out. So I'm going to give this to you, and I want you to call out the tax number for 2023.
So before I do that, explain what the tax number is.
So the tax number is exactly what this is saying, that the property appraiser actually went out and assessed it, and they assessed it for 18 million, according to this, right?
Okay.
So what they're trying to do here, in my opinion, is they're trying to alleviate the court from any legal ramifications against them, because they're saying, well, we didn't make up the number, the property appraiser did.
Yeah.
And this
So
is where
are you telling me that they're charging him the yearly taxes based on an $18 million number? Or they should be, according to that appraiser.
That is correct.
Okay. So from what I see here, what they're charging him his annual taxes is based off of a $33 million
Assessment. Okay. So
Damn.
now it is a business.
Just market value, 37 million. Now this is a funny number because I've never seen an appraiser appraise a home less than the just market value.
Never
in my life.
And the just market value, just so we understand, for those of you who are not real estate agents or real estate brokers, that just market value is what they give the property based on what they have around and surrounding it. So when you look at that, that's something that you're going to see for yourself is just an actual number that they create for the area. Now, always remember this: property appraisers that work for the county, they're not going out there and actually going into the property, looking at, all the things that an actual appraiser would look at, like the details of the property, how much depreciation it has, and everything that goes with the property itself. So all they're doing is doing what we call the drive-by appraisal. They just drive by the property and just throw a number out there based on what the average in the community is. And that's what this is. Now, we pulled up 2023 because that's when this property or this case was in court. So when we looked at it, then now this is a fact check, by the way. PolitiFact is fact checking what actually happened and what was actually said. because the headline says New York officials didn't value. Okay, that's just trying to take some of the liability off of the New York court system, but they were not diligent with the way they did things, and this is completely incorrect. The property was not assessed at that price. Go ahead and give them the number again. It was assessed at what?
It was assessed actually at 33 million.
Now, let me ask you a question, Nev. Can you assess the property at 33 million but still sell it for more?
Can you assess it at 33 million and sell it for more? Absolutely.
Why? Tell the audience why.
So with your assessed value is basically that's what they base your taxes off of, what you're going to pay yearly for your what is it called? Your homeowner's tax.
Yep.
So they're always going to base it off of basically how much it's going to cost to replace the property. Gotcha. Most of the time, it's going to be used. They're going to use that number. Gotcha. So to replace a property is always going to be less. Now, if we're in a strong housing market, the price to replace a home is going to be less than the price to purchase that same home.
That same home.
That makes sense because you're only pricing in price of material.
Correct. Pricing material and labor.
Yep.
Now, another thing that I wanted to talk about was there's actually a property. Now, this one does sit a little bit off the coast, and it's a pretty nice property because it sits on an island. But this is a new construction that was just built, and it has about 11 bedrooms, 15 bathrooms, 21,000 square feet. Okay, built in 2023. It sits on 2 acres of land. Okay, and it is assessed at a price of $187,500,000.
11 bedrooms.
11 bedrooms, 15 baths. Okay, now
pretty comparable.
It's a pretty good comparable, right?
Yeah.
So how many residences does Mar-a-Lago have in the club?
I don't even know the number on that one, actually.
Okay.
It's about, actually, if you look at the tax records here, it's 4. Four structures.
4 full structures.
Is what they have.
4 full structures.
If you look at the square footage of any of these structures, they're all the size of large houses.
So you're looking at, okay, so let's look at these things. So structure number 1, which is part of the club, which is the biggest structure it has, is 37,000 square feet. Once again, that's a lot bigger than 21,000. Okay, so
21,000.
already that is bigger than the 21,000 square feet. That is within the heated square feet. Now, heated square feet is obviously the interior of the home.
Anything
that's
AC
under
touches.
air. Anything the AC touches. Now, on top of that, you have another structure that is 2,500 square feet. Then you have another structure that is 1968, and then you have a fourth structure of 1870.
Yep.
And then all of these things have been brought to code all the way between 1927 all the way down to 2004 is when I see some of these things have been brought to code and stuff like that. I do see that the property itself shows that at one point in time, back in 1995, they did take out from the looks of it, is this when you bought it in 95?
You bought it in actually 85.
In 85, okay.
So
in 95, it looks like they took some money out against it.
Yeah, he bought it. So in 85, he bought it for $5 million, according to tax records, right? Okay. According to the myth behind it, is overall the purchase of it cost him about $10 million.
Okay.
And if you don't know the history behind Mar-a-Lago and how he was able to acquire it for that price, it's actually really simple. The family after the previous owner passed away, they owned the home, and the children just weren't taking care of it, so they went ahead and listed it for about $18 million. Trump heard of it that no one wanted to buy it at that time, so Trump was like, "Okay, I'll come in," and he offers them, I believe, $15 million, and they turned him down.
Oh wow!
So Trump, being a businessman, said, "Okay, no worries. I'm gonna just go ahead and buy the lot in front of it that actually oversees the ocean, and I'm gonna build a home bigger than Mar-a-Lago that's going to block Mar-a-Lago from seeing the ocean." Upon hearing that, anybody who showed any interest in Mar-a-Lago said, "I don't want it."
Got it.
Because you want a house that's being blocked by another house.
And then what happened was that brought down the value of the property for him to buy it. Now,
so they should have went for 15 million.
Now, before we started, obviously, let's be fair. You did call him a villain for doing that, right? That's
evil villain thinking, bro.
I understand that, but it's also a business mindset.
No, it's a great business move.
Great business move. So because of that, I mean, at this point, we've already debunked that. Now, here's another crazy thing.
But back to that. So you bought something for $5 million in 1985, and it's an appreciating asset. Did the value go up or would it go down?
It's appreciating, so it's up.
So from 1985 all the way up until 2023, how many years is that?
From 95, you said 85?
85.
95,
So,
2005.
so I'm 33, so that's 38
That's
years.
20, no.
38 years.
It is 38
It's 38 years. The value of that only went up by $13 million.
Yeah, no. No, and this is what I'm saying. Like, at the end of the day, I mean, you could say what you want to say, but I look at it from the standpoint of if you know, what do I always say, right? If you wanna wash a car, go get a car wash expert. If you wanna if you have to go to trial for something, go get an attorney. You want to buy or sell a home, go get a realtor. Go get people that work in the field and do that specific thing. Now, here's where the debunking begins. So, and everybody's gonna say this, guys. So I urge you, go do your own research, like we just did. Go do your own research, because it is important that we understand what's going on here in regards to this property, right? Because this is the thing. I'm gonna be honest with you. I know you know, and I know some people that we can get $18 million put together and we could buy Mar-a-Lago tomorrow, if that's really what it was worth. But there's no possible way that I can do that, because that's not what it's worth. And people all think that, you know, that, oh man, it's really worth 18 million and he inflated prices. No, he didn't. He actually did exactly what most people would do. He would go to the bank, he would borrow the money and say, hey, it's worth this much. The bank still has to do an actual appraisal, not use the same appraisal that the particular court used, because the court, what they decided to use was an appraisal done literally by a drive-by appraiser. Doesn't even know the property, doesn't have any depreciation. An actual appraisal, especially in commercial, is very tedious. There's so much that goes into it. That's why very few people appraise commercial real estate.
Yes,
absolutely. Now, here's one thing that I want to tell you, right? So in comparison, we have a gentleman by the name of Ken Griffin, right? Which most people that bought GameStop stock really don't like him. But we'll talk about that in another episode. But here's what happened, right? So he actually is moving to Florida, and he's moving to Palm Coast, and he's moving really close to Mar-a-Lago. And he's building right now a mega estate, and it's going to cost him about $1 billion, right? $1 billion mega estate. Now, that being said, he ended up buying about 4 to 7 plots of land that costed him on average between 100 to 150 million, which added up to about 20 acres. Pretty crazy. And it's going to cost him between 150 and 200 million. I'm sorry, and 400 million to build this mega estate that is going to be valued at $1 billion. Now, here's the problem. He builds it for 4 million.
Yep.
Okay. But he's valuing it at 1 billion. Who determined that price?
You let me know.
Okay. So he tells the bank it's $1 billion, right? But I only need to borrow 400 billion to build it. 400 million, sorry, to build it, right? What's the bank going to do next? Is he going to take his word for it?
Absolutely not.
What's the bank going to do?
They're going to send out a expert in land appraisal.
Absolutely, 100%.
And they're going to give him two values. They're going to give him current value, and then they're going to give
which is the current value on the land.
The current value on the land, and then the value of best use.
And when they give him best use, normally, typically, could it be that price?
Yes,
absolutely. 100%.
Depending on what he's going to put there, he already gave them the plans. This is the use for it. This is what we estimate we're going to be getting in return. So the values could be up to $1 billion. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And that's what I get at, where when we look at this, it just baffles me that people are believing this stuff without doing their own research. So let's go to the next story. So the next story we have is in regards to, so we did the PolitiFact. Okay. So here's the breakdown. So Mar-a-Lago at this point, it is pretty much what's the square footage on it in regards to the acreage?
The acreage of Mar-a-Lago is approximately 17 acres.
17.
Just a little over.
So get this. This is 187. So this one's only this is 187 million.
Okay.
187 million, 2.27 acres.
Wow.
So remove the house. remove the house. How much do you think this is probably worth? Probably what? Like
Land value?
land value, yeah.
I would say at least 30 million.
30 million. So
30
take
million.
30 million,
Yeah.
right? And divide it by 2, right? So 30 mil divided by 2 is 15 million.
Now, I'm not an expert, by the way, in land values of anything oceanfront.
Yeah, we're just guesstimating at this point.
I don't live anywhere near oceanfront.
So let's say it's 15 million. 15 million, right? So take 15 million.
Okay, 15
and
million
multiply that by 17
times 17.
Yeah. So that's how much it would be worth without even having any property on it. Without even having any property on it, it's going to be worth 255 million. Okay, so far from the 18 million that they said. Now, once again, the courts didn't say it. The courts didn't say it. The ones who said it was the appraiser, supposedly, which right now, based on this document right here, as you guys can see for yourself, you will see that that is the actual number that the appraiser said. So the 18 million, what happens, and I hate this, Nev, man, because it happens not just in courts, but in everything people do, is everybody takes everybody's word for it, right?
Yeah.
So don't take people's words for it. This is public record. You can look it up yourself. Just do the research. All right. So now so right now we're at 255. Now let's talk about the compound. How many square feet? You said 37,000 square, right?
Yep.
So let's take this property, right? So take 187. Okay. Subtract the 30 million. Yep. Purchase price. 500. 187,500,000. 187,500,000. No. Add 3 zeros. One more. There we go. All right. Subtract 30 million because that's the lot.
Okay, we're at 157.
All right. Now divide that by 21,400 to see what your square feet is.
21,400.
400.
So we're at what? 7,300 square foot.
7,300 square. So multiply that by Mar-a-Lago's number.
Times what was that? 37,000.
37,000. So now add that to the 255 that we for the land.
Oh yeah, forgot about that. Plus the $255 million, which was the land cost.
Yep. So that's the estimated price that we think Mar-a-Lago is worth. 527, and that is a CMA, guys. That's just a regular CMA. Obviously, there's a bigger CMA that would be done because that's not net operating. Now, let's go with net operating. You said that 1 year it made about how much? 200 and what?
So in the year of, and this was a standout year for the property.
Okay.
But in the year of, I might have actually read it wrong. So gross revenue, it had $29 million in the period of June in 2015.
In June.
2015 to 2016, right?
Uh-huh.
$25 million in 2017 and $22 million in 2018.
22 million.
Yep.
So it makes about 22,
yep.
Right? So if you're doing net operating, right, and that's gross or?
That would be their gross revenue.
Gross revenue. So 22 million, and then do a 10x on that is what?
So we do 22 million. And
multiply. Now the multiplier of 10x is we're going to go to the highest number. So that's the highest it would be able to cost. It would be 220 million in the net operating part. Now let's go back and let's do a 5x, which is exactly the lowest point that you can go through with a net operating. So 5x will put you at 110 million, far from the 18 million. Yeah. So at this point, can we say this is debunked at this point?
I would think so. I would honestly, I would say so.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for watching. We love that you guys are watching this video, thinking about exactly what we talked about. But guys, don't take our word for it, right? They should do their what? They should do their own.
They should do their own research.
Absolutely. And how long did it take us to do this research? Pretty quick, right?
20 minutes max.
At max. So I'm telling you right now, go do your research.
It took us 10 minutes to read everything. 20 minutes to pull out the important facts.
Exactly. And that's how simple this is. It's not right. And I think this is gonna, this is one of the many things that are affecting our real estate industry. And a lot of people don't see the value in what we do. This is the value in what we do. We make sure things are done right. And we make sure that we take care of our customers the right way by knowing and having the knowledge on not only how to pull it, but how to interpret it. So that being said, thank you for watching. Nev, do you have anything to say to the audience?
I have nothing to say. Actually, Actually, yeah, go ahead and like and subscribe. Yeah, we just want to know, get the feedback, leave any comments.
Give us some comments. Give us some comments.
Even if you don't agree with anything that we said here.
Yeah, absolutely. If you don't agree, leave us a comment. Let us know where we messed up, right? Let us know where we missed something, right? Because we want to go back and be able, and we'll go on another episode and correct it. Yeah. But as it stands right now, it has been debunked. The property is not worth $18 million, and nobody in Florida appraised it for $18 million. Now, if you find a document that shows that, please send it to us, put it in the comments below, and we'll go ahead and share that document with the rest of the audience and the rest of the community. Thank you so much for watching.
Until next time, guys. I'm out.